There we are. All right, we are live now with Gauntlet Hangouts. We are playing the third of 5 sessions of Gaunt Marches using Dungeon World and Perilous Wilds. If you've watched to this point, you'll be familiar with our players, but we'll run quickly through characters and keys for our sake as well as yours. And I also want to do a reminder about the X card. I forgot to say that last time. But anytime you're just like not having fun, if it goes too far and for any reason, hold up at arms, type it in chat, just get my attention. We'll stop and rewind and figure out how we can do it a better way. Also, we have one line in place, which is we're not going to do any kind of violence against children, and we have a couple of veils that we don't want to see sex on screen and torture on screen. I didn't miss anything, right? Just those 3? Okay, that's what I thought. And let's do our keys and just remind everybody of what our characters are, and then we'll figure out where the team wants to go from there. Tyler, do you want to start?
Yes. Sorry, getting myself situated. There. Hang on. Actually, jump to someone else. My character sheet has crashed.
Ruben, why don't you go through Dreadwin's keys for us?
All right. So I have. I'm going to go down to up because, well, I'll explain later. Key of the Overlord, which I gain an XP when I force others to respect my magical prowess, or when my magic causes fear and terror among a group of innocents. Then there's Key of the Meddler, which I gain 1 XP from when I use magic to change something tangible in a lasting way, or when my magic is self-perpetuating or contagious. And then the final one is Key of the Enigma, gain 1 XP when I successfully deflect or invade an inquiry into my doings, or when your mysterious nature costs you or you a friend or ally. However, I was personally thinking of buying off this particular key, which will happen when I open up to an ally about a secret that I've never shared with anyone.
Okay.
So I was hoping to have a scene with that.
Great. So you can frame it up, or other players keep an eye for an opportunity for that, or you can even just during downtime say, hey, let's try and turn Dreadwin's key. Because that sounds cool to try and open up a little bit, because to this point you definitely have been the I don't want to call you the odd fish, never mind, but there's definitely been a barrier. So let's go over to Eula. Harry, why don't you tell us about Eula and her keys?
Eula is a fierce Amazon princess. She is in search of the Oracle, which was the leader of her community, was stolen by a mischievous spirit by the name of the Sky Monkey. Her keys are Key of the Hunter, where I get experience for locating a creature or single-handedly defeating a wild creature of considerable might or cunning. Key of the Stranger, which is basically XP for being unusual, strange beliefs or traditions. And Key of the Tenacious, XP for overcoming multiple obstacles to accomplish a personal goal. I'm a ranger, I don't know if I mentioned that, accompanied by my 3 palace cats.
Do you have any of the keys that you in particular want to turn or buy off this session that we should focus on?
Well, I'm always working on Stranger, and I'd like to continue with the Hunter theme. I've got a little scene that involves my reaching 2nd level that I'd like to do while we're still in the town. Tenacious, I think really should be a good one. I just need to keep working on it, I think. As an aside, this is the first time I'm using keys this session of games. I have to admit, I'm still getting my head around them. I think last session helped but I'm just a newbie at them.
Okay. Yeah, no worries. I'll try and keep my eye, especially on Tenacious. I feel like that might fall on me more than the other players to help you with. So, and then Adam, why don't you tell us about Rukau and his keys?
Okay, Rukau Uktashkula, Tiger Blood, is the hobgoblin looking for new lands for his clan and from across the sea. And he is an expansionist, always encouraging everybody to exceed their boundaries and limits, or group or faction township to do the same. And he has the key of the ringleader, when you take the lead in a difficult situation or when someone takes your advice and it actually pays off. And key of contender, when you face an equal in combat and more than your life is at stake, or when a foe is more skilled than you, or you are severely injured and you overcome anyways. So I think I'm happy with those. I have an opportunity for an upgrade or an advanced move that makes the contender one really fun, perhaps. But I don't know. Maybe it's just numerical instead of fun.
Okay. So is contender kind of the one that you're angling for this session? Oh, you're muted.
Different tabs. Yes, I think so. The other ones are more vague and kind of abstract, so it's the easiest one to make tangible.
Okay. Sounds good. We'll keep our eyes on that one. All right. Back to Tyler. Why don't you tell us about Millie and her keys?
All righty. I'm playing Lady Camille de Darden, who is called Millie. She is a noble who has headed out from her family to kind of be a bon vivant and adventurer, mostly to impress her family if she can. I have the key of the noble. I gain XP when I refuse an order or request that's beneath me, or when I encounter hardship or pain rather than suffer an indignity. I can buy it off by following orders from someone beneath me. I have the key of the lover, where I gain XP when I fall in and out of love again, or when I successfully romance former foe. I buy it off when I become faithful to one person. And I have the key of reckless. Gain 1 XP when you act without thinking and things get out of hand, or when your poorly laid plans come to fruition and you somehow benefit while others do not. And I buy it off when I start controlling my recklessness and such like and so forth.
Cool. Any of those that we should try and keep our eye on to help you turn?
None in particular. I think I'm in solid shape across there. We'll see if Lover manages to pop up, but if not, that's cool too.
Cool. All right. So I want to do a couple of kind of setting the scene questions, and then we'll get back into where we were. I think we had some decisions to make about staying in town and what we wanted to pursue. So we'll have that discussion, kind of frame it the same way we did last time as hopes for the session. So let me pull up my list so I don't forget any of the questions I wanted. Eula, I wanted to ask you some things about the Oracle. So did your Oracle have the same kinds of painting? Because it's paint, right? Not tattoos that you have?
I think mostly it's tattoos, some scarification, but there probably is paint as well.
Okay, so those markings, though, were they pretty similar to the ones that the Oracle had? Like, if somebody saw you and then the Oracle at a different place, would they draw a connection?
Yeah, and especially if they heard us talk, because we both have the same strange swamp dialect.
Yeah, very heavy accents and stuff. Okay, cool. Is the Oracle a woman or a man?
Everyone in the Amazon village is a woman.
Oh, I guess that makes sense. It is Amazon. How do you reproduce?
Well, if you must know, someone paying close attention might notice that we all have sort of a cylinder at our waist, and that contains a strange sort of symbiotic non-human creature that when it comes time to mate, that creature provides the mate.
Interesting. And so, does that help explain why you're a human but still have pointed ears?
Well, the pointed ears really is that's the best picture that I could find, and it happened to be a picture of an elf. If I could have chosen, I would have made it a human picture, but I'm not an artist, unfortunately.
If I was any better with Photoshop, I would just wipe it off for you. Cool. Thanks. That'll help me. Thank you. Let's see. Rukow, I've got a couple of questions for you and your background. So what's a precious stone? I'm thinking not something like diamonds or rubies, but something more along the lines of like turquoise or lapis lazuli, something that's, or what's the one in Japan? Or jade. Something along those lines. What's the name and the look of a precious stone from your homeland?
Is jet too boring? I mean, lapis lazuli and jade are super cool, but you mentioned those. I mean, I always like jade. We could always go. But I did mention lapis last time, so let's go with lapis lazuli.
Okay, cool. And if I gave those as examples, if you want to make one up, like whole slate, that as well.
Like a new breed of rock?
Yeah. Color scheme, whatever you feel.
Okay, I'll think about it.
Okay, I'll come back to you then in a second. I've got one for Tyler as well. All right, so Millie, tell me a little bit about your family. I know you said you were kind of middle to lower end of the nobility, but what is it that the Dedarans did or do that got them their noble position?
We're a fairly old family, at least 5-6 generations, but many get their nobility through war. Some because they lead people to new places. My family were bankers, and eventually we had enough people that were indebted to us in the nobility that to avoid paying us off, they just gave us a title instead.
And so then tell me also about the entanglements of the nobility in Eeltin. Is it, are there pretty clear hierarchy, or is it really messy? Who really holds power?
I kind of envision most of the nobility fairly messy down towards the bottom, and then of course the upper nobility is of the blood royal. So you have like the dukes or earls who are coming off of the royal family, and then the rest of us that are all stuck up in the middle with trumped up titles and all that sort of thing.
Cool. Awesome. All right, Adam, what you got for us?
Black opal. They're super cool.
Opal. Awesome.
Black opal.
And so let me type that down so I don't forget it.
I'll give a picture too. They're kind of like a clear black stone, lightning struck with bluish, kind of purplish bluish, like Aurora Borealis, basically.
Awesome. Good pick. Yeah, whenever you find a picture, throw that up for us. Okay, so instead of going like player to player for our hopes, let's kind of discuss as a whole what we're hoping to do. I'll lay out the kind of hooks that I see that you guys have, but if there's other things that I miss, let me know. So we've got the hook with the rat dragon and gaining the loyalty of the Zarutu. We have this hook with Eli, which might also be helped with the helping out the Zarutu because that's super cool. I'm gonna throw it up on the screen in case anybody ever watches this. Ta-da! Okay, the old man that you guys met at the end claimed that the Zarutu regarding the tomb, that its whereabouts had been lost centuries ago. But he said there's reasons why they've never conquered the city, even though he thinks that they could have multiple times. And then we also have a thread going with Millie and the sheriff of the town, Sheriff Tallison. He invited Millie up to his room for some private conversation to discuss the line of Eli and so forth. Those are the major hooks that I'm remembering. What is it that you guys are hoping to do, accomplish, see this session?
I kind of wouldn't mind seeing a rat dragon. I honestly think that sounds pretty fascinating.
I would like
Especially
to
if it's-
see, oh, go ahead.
Especially if it happens to be occupying land that nobody else would want to lay claim to.
You need to elevate your goals so that you can get land that's valuable and that everyone will want.
It'll probably be fertile with all the rat droppings that have been there.
And carcasses that are soon to be there.
Can you even call it land if you can't see the ground?
Harry, what are you thinking?
I would like to see hints at the Sky Monkey.
Okay.
So minions or avatars or drop-ins, any of the above.
Okay. Ruben, do you have any input?
Well, I suppose I just expect to, deal with the rats and then see where it goes from there.
Okay.
Maybe even dealing with the rats could itself be its own endeavor, but I don't want this to drag out too long.
Okay. So it sounds like focusing on that mission to kill the rat dragon, gain the favor of the tribe's people, is the direction that you guys are all thinking of heading. Cool. We will do that. So the last we saw you all, it was late afternoon, evening in the town of Alameen.
I can't hear you, Spencer.
Oh, really? Let me adjust the volume.
I can hear you there. Can you hear anyone else here?
Yeah, Harry, was it really soft or was it just gone?
I'm not sure he's hearing any of us.
I don't
Which would
think.
mean it was a problem on his end.
Yeah, it sounds like we lost him. Okay. Well, we'll stall then. Go ahead.
Rukao is interested in seeing Dreadwin produce something beautiful.
I don't know if that is actually possible for him.
Oh, it's possible. You
I
can
was
push
just going to
beyond
say
your
the same
limits.
thing.
Harry,
Why
can
flesh
you-
weave if you can?
Hey, let me know if you can hear me. I cannot hear you.
We can hear you.
All right. I guess I'm going to reboot.
Okay.
Maybe you've gone for a little bit. Just continue on without me.
Okay, sounds good.
Actually, mechanically, it's literally impossible for him to make something beautiful because they have to be horrifying to work.
Well, I think if you summon out something outside or opposed to your focus, do
I
it.
think it says I can't do that at all. Like, you just can't make spells opposed to your focus.
Yeah.
Oh,
You can make things adjacent.
Yeah, I really wish I could make ones opposed to my focus so I could actually heal things. Even if it was with a minus modifier, I would still try to do it. But like,
yeah.
I read it and I was just like, no, you can't.
Yep.
Maybe there's certain beauty in the undulation of tentacles. I mean, if you enjoy a little of that, it's like modern dance.
Says the lover.
Yeah, we may find more about Rukau than we want to know today.
I met the lover, Millie.
Ooh, show those hips.
Wiggle.
I'm interested, Tyler, in knowing more about your whip sword. I think Rukau would know more about being familiar with her style if he knew what that was capable of, but I'm not quite sure what it's capable of yet, other than what the moves say. So that's of interest to me.
Okay, I'll try and get more out with that. I kind of treat it like it's almost sentient, like it's almost another person. It's not there yet. It will one day be sentient and there, but right now it more obeys my will than has its own thoughts. But one of these days it's going to have its own thoughts, and it will upgrade here as soon as I have enough time to rest and pick up my move.
You know, actually, that's something we can discuss still while he's gone. If you guys are going to be taking a journey out into the wildlands, you guys each got 50 coin. Might be a good time to spend it. We'll roll the supply roll if any of you decide that you do want to buy something. So, also, did you decide, is Millie gonna? You have the key to this manor now. So you can just abscond with that, or are you going to try and...
Oh, you mean the key from the sheriff?
Yeah, you got the key to get into kind of like the side door and up to his chamber.
I wasn't intending to just go in there and rob him. I'm trying to decide still how good an idea I think it is to meet him, but I'm probably going to go meet him. But yeah, I'm not a thief.
Hey, you put that on yourself. I wasn't suggesting anything.
Oh, come on. No, Millie isn't a thief. She's a lover. The key says so.
Right.
Well, let's we can start that scene even while Harry's resetting. That'll kind of buy us a little bit of time. What do you guys think?
Go for it.
Cool. So evening goes to night, and you go in the side door. Are you doing anything fancy, or are you just following directions, going straight up to his room?
I suppose I'm just heading up there. I didn't dress particularly provocatively, but, you know, I'm a warrior noble, so I'm always looking a little hotsy-totsy, I suppose. But, you know, I certainly do not intend to accept any advances if that's what his ideas are. He's not my type at all.
So, yeah, you get up to the chamber, and there's one attendant there, and she says, anything you need, just ask for me. I'll be out in the hallway waiting for you.
Thank you very much.
And she just closed the door behind her. Setting the room, what do you see in there that is actually kind of endearing? Something that you weren't expecting to find at all? Something that shows his softer side, maybe?
I think he has, as I come in, I hear this sort of snuffling and this sort of slow, limpy walk, and coming around the edge of, like, the little couch that's there is this old and extremely fat dog. It comes up, and it's, oh, hello. You can see it's got its little tag on, and you can see it's, I don't know, Mr. Paws.
Mr. Paws. That is adorable. Yeah, so you're playing with Mr. Paws, giving him a belly pat, and now you look around the room again and you see something that shows you a little more of his intentions for the night. What do you see that gives away some of his sexual proclivities?
I think, you know, as I'm kind of just looking around the room, and towards the back there's a curtain, and as I pull it back, I see that there is a lounge, a chase lounge sort of thing, but I can also see that there are manacles attached to the legs of it, and there is a series of feathered kind of like feathered whips that are hanging from the wall. I pull the curtain back aside. Ugh.
Mental note: do not go there. Cool. Trying to think if there's anything else to set the scene before he comes in. No, let's have the sheriff come in. What are you doing as he enters the room?
I suppose I probably moved over and I've sat down on this couch and I'm probably petting the dog.
Ah, Lady Dedarin, I'm so pleased that you agreed to meet me here. And he kind of comes next to the couch there.
I'm glad that you could take time out of your busy schedule to discuss business with me.
Certainly. This whole matter of lineage, and I'm sorry, I got a little hot-headed earlier. It's just those damned elves. They always have something up their sleeve.
So wild and free and attractive. Awful, just awful.
Ugh. Attractive if you like dirt and mud. Ugh. I don't think they take a bath even yearly. I don't know. Anyway, let's not talk about them anymore. I'd rather, and he sits down next to you on the couch, I'd rather talk about you, Lady Dedarin. Tell me more about your house.
Call me Millie.
Millie?
Yes.
Quite intimate, aren't we?
Well, I would like for us to be friendly here as we discuss things of mutual benefit to us both.
Oh, certainly. You can call me Sherry. It's short for sheriff. That's what all my friends call me. It's kind of a joke, and then now here we are, Sherry.
Sure. Sherry. We, my house is old and stodgy, and honestly, it just bored me to tears. That's why I took to the road. So much more adventure, and when you're young, you should see the world. There's plenty enough time to go back home.
You know, to be quite honest, I've got too much time invested here to go anywhere else. I keep this place safe, you know. The Red Hill, that's where I grew up, and this land is the only safe place in all of the fields of Alameen, and I feel very proud to have accomplished such a thing.
You should. You really, honestly, you really should, sir. This is a dangerous place around here. I've heard of horrible things out in the woods. A rat dragon? I don't think I'd even heard of that until rumor struck me on the road.
You know, the only people I've ever seen talk about it are crazies. I'm not sure if that sort of thing really exists. He gets up and pours some wine for each of you. He hands you a cup. I've heard of wilder things. There's also some kind of enormous beetle creature. Just consumes people whole, leaves their husks on the ground.
Good Lord. Where does a beetle like that live?
I don't know, and I'm happy not to. Not here in Alameen, I'll tell you that much.
Well, as I was saying when we met earlier, my companions and I are very much interested in the, your own family history, though I admit I had no idea of its rather elevated status. But the Prince Eli, you wouldn't happen to have any old family legends that might, clue me in on where to find, say, his tomb or any of the old family holdings, would you?
You know, I think I do. We used to inhabit a city to the north. It got burned down. Something about green fire, and when the green fire came, it just destroyed the keep in one night. That's what drove us here, you know.
I saw or heard something about green fire before, haven't I?
Yeah, that. So it was rumored that the rat dragon spews green fire.
Green fire.
Yeah, specifically, Dreadwind was reading the books and clued everyone in on the dangers of that.
Mm.
Burns inward, should never touch the stuff.
Mm.
It requires 10 times more evasion.
But so I think that's where the old annals were. We kept them underground, of course, and so it would be safe there.
So it's possible they're still remaining.
Yes. You know what I'm going to do for you, Millie, my dear?
No, Sherry, what?
I'm going to go with you. I will personally take you to the old annals.
Oh,
We'll take some of my men. I have horses and camels. We'll make a week of it.
I would hate to. As you say, you're so very busy. You shouldn't do that on my account.
I think this is another parley here. He's dead set on spending more time with you.
Oh, goodness. Do we have a roll for a party?
Yeah, I posted it in chat.
Oh, it must have been before I jumped in.
Here we go. The pleasantly diverse insect again. Oh. I did all that copy and pasting and I didn't have my keyboard turned on. There we go.
Thank you. All right. I got an 8.
An 8. Okay. You can convince him to not go with you, but it will require you to do some favors for him tonight to ensure his pride that you're not going to just slip away and never return.
Well, I do want to slip away and never return. So, and it would be bad form to kill him and his men on the road. So, favors, eh?
Favors, and this is where the veil comes in.
Right. I'm willing to flirt and maybe even canoodle a bit, but that's about as far as my favors with this guy are going. I am still a lady.
So yeah, maybe we have this scene. He walks over and he pulls back that curtain and he says, "Well, I understand you're reticent to have me and all my friends come along." And he pulls this curtain back. He says, "Maybe if I knew that we had this connection." And I assume you're probably not going into the back room, but maybe.
I think seeing, he's got those feathery whips. Maybe I see something that I can work with here. And so just sliding out from me, from underneath my clothes, you see Blaze come writhing out and crack as my face. Sir, I can't imagine you're suggesting something like this to a lady. I'm not one of these trollops of the street. Crack. I am a noble. To be so forward. Crack. That's very naughty, Sherry. Very, very naughty. Crack.
I had my composure. I lost it again. Yeah. He'll close the curtain up, and as you wish. Could we still spend the evening together?
Of course, Sherry. In my travels, I've encountered a few naughty boys, and I'll kiss him on the cheek. But then hopefully keep him to a much more pleasant and less sort of expectation.
Yeah, we'll just cut there. You can say you don't go too far with it.
But I'm willing to lead him on. That doesn't bother me ever much.
Cool. So what you're going to get out of that is he's going to give you like specific directions to the annals, and then not come along with you because that's what you asked.
That is indeed what I want.
Let's go to the rest of you, since you guys are going to be spending at least one night here. I know. Oh goodness, now I'm forgetting your name. I know Eula was going to go secretly distribute coin to the poor people. Is that still your plan?
Maybe not. I was thinking that was a previous night. I think that was part of looking for information on Eli. I think maybe that's already happened.
You're saying this is like the second or third night here, and that's already occurred? Okay,
that's
cool.
in my mind. But I do have something going on, probably in conjunction with Millie's high political shenanigans meeting while she's dying on fine wine and so on. You'd see Yuli, and this is a little scene. If anyone wants to jump in, feel free. Otherwise, it'll be a short scene just with Yuli. But somewhere maybe in the compound of the guy who's hosting us, in a corner as dusk comes down, a dark corner, Uli is sort of crouching, maybe like rocking back and forth on her feet. You'd see that she's taken some sort of black oil and put it over her eyes, almost like a mask. And she produces a small little mat, and onto it goes two black polished round balls, maybe stones, and a very thin lock of gray hair that she pulls out, and she's reluctant to set down. She sets it down, picks it up, and sets it down again. And she's mumbling something. And over time, one by one, each cat appears, bringing an offering. The first one brings a mouse, and Uli reaches out and takes it, and it's live. She holds it in her hand, one hand, and feels it while the other hand is worrying over the hair. But she doesn't look at it. She's just feeling it, and then she puts it down and gives it back to the cat, which runs off with it. And then another cat brings a bird, and similar scenario happens. And then a little while later, the third cat appears. It's got something bigger in its mouth, something black. Maybe it's a bat. And Uli reaches out without looking again and feels it. And this time spends much more time feeling over it. It's alive, but I see a hand going up.
Yeah, can I interject and say it's not a bat?
Sure. Do you have a suggestion?
Yeah, you may have grabbed one of Dreadwind's testing creatures he was working with and brought it over.
Okay. I've got a specific thing that it looks like.
It's sort of like a bat, except it has like several wings, and they sort of seem wed together. Sort of like, those old planes where they have several wings and then they're sort of just like attached. It's sort of like that. But it just keeps going around to the point where it's like a spear.
That's cool. There's one other thing about it, though. If you look at it closely, the face is has some monkey-like characteristics.
All right.
Some like squirrel monkey type small thing. And Uli is feeling it, and much more time is spent on this, especially around the face, as she almost like blindly is feeling at the facial features, and the thing keeps biting. Maybe it draws some blood, in fact. And once that happens, the hand with the hair grabs the thing much more firmly this time, and a knife comes out. And there's fervent muttering going on as the knife slips into the thing's chest cavity where the heart is, and black ichor starts coming out, which Uli smears across her hands and down her face and on her arms. So basically what's going on is Uli has taken she's taken to the blind prophet that we met at the end of last session, and has taken this as a sign, his presence being blind and having information as a sign that the oracle wants Uli to worship the blind god. So she is taking a level of clerical stuff, and this is a guidance spell that she's casting. She has also hopefully followed Rukau's advice when he said that we should start with some small thing that's a spiritual connection to the sky monkey and start drawing the sky monkey's attention. And that's the way to capture a spirit. You just keep pulling in more and more of its minions until it arrives itself to deal with things. Anyway, so that is what's going on. It's a guidance spell to just see what the blind god would have.
Yeah, I have an idea here. I think the hand is unconsciously even guided to that map. And opening up the map, you see marked on it a spot, kind of like that blind prophet. It's a milky white eye with like a scar marked over it, and you can make a little point so when the image fades on the map, that's where the blind prophet wants you to go.
Okay, it's a drop of the thing's black blood that leaves the mark.
Oh, awesome! Love it.
Cool.
I think to which point Dreadwind would come in. Like, he's been sensing this magic going on since that is part of his racial move, and he's been wondering where this cat has just taken his creature. And he just sees it, and he's just like, Eula, for what reason did you need to take my art elsewhere?
The cat hisses at you, and Ula looks up, and you would almost think, just like you are blind, she is acting like she's blind. She's not looking at you. She's kind of looking in your general direction. So we've got these two essentially blind people looking at each other. She says, this creature is a sacrifice. I don't know where it came from, but it is of the spider monkey. I mean, the sky monkey, excuse me.
Well, it came from outside. Somewhere. I sent another one to get it, indiscriminately.
She stands up. What do you mean it came from outside? Outside this world?
Not quite. Although there were ones that were outside this world. This one I formed myself. 'Twas something like a bat. No, it was a pigeon. Yes, it was a pigeon. It's a delicate process.
You formed this. Why did you form it in this? Why did you summon a beast of the sky monkey?
He takes it and he sort of takes it and he's like, I was wondering who made the face like that. Who makes pigeons with monkey faces? He's holding the bat with its neck broken off after you like sliced it.
The cat's looking up at you, expecting to take it off, to drag it off.
Yeah, so like I think he just like looks at the cat. He just takes off the monkey head and just drops it at the cat's feet.
It scampers off with it.
Awesome. That feels like a thing to me. Do you guys have anything else you want to add?
That's good.
Yeah, it just seems like two creeps talking it out and having no idea where these monkey heads are coming from.
Yeah, I'm really interested to see this how this plays out with Eula and her new magical abilities. By the way, Harry, on the bottom tabs, there's a tab called Spells. If you want to keep track of what spells and stuff you have there, there's a section called Ranger Spell List. If you use that.
All right, I just typed it in as sort of a move thing, but I will take a look at that.
Yeah, however you want to do it. Okay, let's go to Rukau Tigerblood. Are you? These two, it sounded like we're kind of outside of wherever you guys are sleeping. Are you inside? Are you drinking? What are you doing this evening?
I would normally carouse, but I haven't done anything worthy of telling tales about around here, really. I think the queen or princess is not something to be boasted about yet, since she might become a friend. So in lieu of that, I would go to find Dreadwin to be gone, even though I was wanting to have some good heart-to-heart chats. And instead, I'll just go buy some stuff, like a spear, since I couldn't hit that bird as it was flying away, that I could throw, and another bag of books, since we're new to the area and we need to track down Eli's ancestry, and maybe there's more to know about this place. And lots of antitoxins, because we're going to be facing diseased rats. And pipe leaf, because it's good. So that's on his to-do list.
So as you're finishing up your shopping, it's getting into nighttime and not so much evening anymore. The stars are starting to come out. Real quick, I want to hear Dreadwin's opinion on this. What about the moon here on over the Gaunt marches? What's different from our moon here on Earth? You can have a minute to think if you want.
Yeah, come back to me on it.
Cool. Anyway, so this odd moon that we'll find more about in a few minutes is out. And somebody approaches you, a hooded, tall, feminine form, and says, "Are you with the travelers?"
Yes, I am.
Your friend is Millie Didarin, yes?
Yes, Millie, old friends. Go way back.
Perfect.
She's pretty good, but she's not perfect.
I have a favor to ask of you and Millie.
Yes.
Will you come with me to the temple? She pulls back her hood, and she's part, like she's a humanoid deer, actually. And so she's got a very deer-like face and short hair. Still strikingly beautiful as far as, deer people go. But we temple.
Yes, I don't see why not.
Excellent. And she'll walk. It's about an hour hike. So by the time you get there, the moon is really high in the sky. Ruben, do you have our detail?
Yeah.
Cool.
This world has a literal blood moon.
Oh, so it's like red? Like blood
No, when this moon comes out, it sort of showers a strange fluid. It's not exactly blood, but it's sort of uncomfortable. That's how people usually describe it.
Okay.
Almost like the moon is either crying or bleeding.
Cool. All right, so you see this. Yeah, we see a shot of the liquid dripping off of the moon as we see you enter the temple. It's set into these red hills, and it's like, the temple, or not the temple, dude, the Ark. What's the name of the Indiana Jones with the
Crystal Skull?
No, heavens no, we don't speak of that.
That's one artifact we're not going to find, I guess.
The Holy Grail.
The Holy Grail. Thank you. Jeez Louise. It's like the Temple of the Holy Grail. It's like set there straight into the carved out of the stone there. And as you enter, you see the main chamber is a large circle. There's an altar at the head, and she takes you into one of the side rooms. And with the door closed, she says, "The reason we need to come here is because I am not a friend of the sheriff's. However, the sheriff does not know that I am not a friend of his. Now, you and your company have grown close to the sheriff quite quickly, and I think it may have to do with the lady and her looks and her composure.
And her nobility. Her station is worth a lot more than all that combined.
It never hurts. Never hurts. I need you and your friends to take the sheriff out. Kill him. Just make him disappear. I don't care. If you do this, I will give you as much gold and as much property as I can get my hands on when the overthrow is done."
So you're saying you don't have any right now? Is that what I'm hearing?
"We have precious things that are sacred," and she indicates to some of the things in the room. And one of them might catch your eye. It's a necklace with the black opal that you talked about earlier. You haven't seen any of it since you got to this side of the continent, so this would take notice for you. But these things are sacred. They're not to be given, for they belong to the lady.
Which lady is that?
She'll walk you into the front room. Let me look up the name so I don't butcher it. The Lady Nutu. And this is the first time that you get close enough to the altar to see it. It's a woman with her arms outstretched, kind of like a fertility statue from like ancient Rome or something. It's made out of brass, very beautiful, very well kept. And there's a basin below it. And she says, "Nutu is the lady who watches over those who are weak, which is what I do as well. You see the suffering in this city. Please help us."
So you're the high priestess. You're a person of importance.
Indeed.
I'm all right with killing for contract, but I'll have to talk about this with my team. You don't give us a lot of assurances, actually, but I like the sound of land. And yeah, we'll discuss this, but you should put on let me give you some advice. You should maybe make yourself a little more grandiose. Make a headdress with antlers. Even if you don't grow them yourself, I just think that would do something for you. But yes, maybe I'll check back. Maybe we'll make something happen. I'll seal a deal if I'm going to do it. You can count on that. Put it in writing.
You do know where to find me. And please, discretion is of utmost importance. The sheriff, he considers me as one of his counselors and a friend.
Is he good with a blade?
His father was good with a blade. I think he, how to put it? He grew up as most privileged people do in these days. He was taught how to use a blade, but I doubt he's ever drawn blood except his own.
Does he need to technically die, or just be run out of town, or perhaps transformed into something horrible and unhuman?
I only need the opportunity to take the throne away from him.
Okay. Seems like in this town that depends on the will of the people. as much as any kind of rights of crown and throne, but that's not for me to say because I'm not a politician. So you work on that and win hearts and minds, and I'll talk to my people.
May Nutu's blessing go with you.
What's your name?
Her name is High Priestess Alana.
Priestess of...
I will put that in the chat real quick. And Nutu is the god she worships. Before you go, warrior, would you pray a blessing from the lady?
I don't probably need it, but I'm not really looking for a family. Need land first.
So if you will, she'll kneel down beside you, and you can offer a prayer to this statue.
No, I think he'd be a little too proud of his own ways. He's probably trying to bring hobgoblin stuff through, but not particularly into the human stuff. Is she human?
Well, she's she's like a deer human.
Oh, yeah, the deer human, yeah.
She's some kind of beast man.
Maybe when pans out well for me, she can prove herself to me first.
All right. Well, she'll send you on your way.
All right.
Cool. So you guys will all reunite in the morning. Is any of the information that's been gathered not being shared? Otherwise, we'll assume it all is. Yeah. Okay.
Is shopping uneventful? Do I need to do a roll for it, or is it just what it is?
Yeah, the things you were buying were pretty, definitely.
Okay.
So you could get them at a regular price. Did any of the rest of you want to buy something?
I'm pretty well stocked up, honestly.
Okay.
I might buy a few things, but I'll get back to you on that later. I just have one question.
Yeah.
How much coin would it cost to restock my uses of bag of books? Because I used 2 so far.
I got one for you. A new bag of books.
No, but okay, whatever.
So
I retract the question if you're willing to share it.
That's there for you, mostly.
Okay. In that case, I was just thinking of stuff like bandages and whatnot.
Okay.
Maybe dungeon rations, but we've been hunting lately, so I might even hang on to that for the time being. Just if things get rough, we'll get rougher.
Cool. So then, let's do some table talk, and then we'll do our break. So if you're going to go to the Rat Dragon, what you will find is that the directions that were given to Millie and the directions from this god were the same location. And it is 3 days northwest of here. And why don't Eula? What's the landmark that you were given to look for to know that you're close to the?
This is close to the Rat Dragon's domain. Is that correct?
Yeah, it will be close to the Rat Dragon's domain. It also happens to be where the annals are.
I think it's a series of not quite mountains, but rocky crags that there are 5 of them, and they almost seem like they're sticking up. You can almost make out a palm and then these spires that make up a hand.
Cool. So coming from the direction you are, it looks like a hand, like kind of.
Yeah.
Cool. And let's see. Do you guys want to do anything about this assassination mission that was offered?
Rukow, we haven't been assassins before, and doesn't it seem like we're... I mean, I admit the man is absolutely odious, but do we really think it's appropriate kill him?
Well, in exchange for land, perhaps, but I was wanting to see if we were making too many waves in a town we just entered. I don't really like to, upset the status quo before benefiting from it a little bit. So I'm not prone to do it too eagerly unless there were indignities to atone for on his part.
I believe it to be quite a rash decision as well to make, considering that we don't even know the dangers that this man is posing, other than his imposement on the poor. I mean, don't get me wrong, that's a thing, but it's not like he's trying to, say, make contracts with demons behind their backs.
How do we know he isn't?
Well,
Leo
only
is
one
spinning her
find
knife
out.
on the table. The people
We
here,
can always kill him later.
they need our help. They need someone to help them.
They have Nutu to help them. If they're too weak that they can't look out for themselves, then I don't know. Maybe they're not worth it. We have bigger fish to fry, I think is the expression I've heard.
I'd say rats.
Yes, and we have all this antitoxin so that none of us will die of diseases.
It certainly would seem that despite the sheriff's belief or doubt in the existence of this rat dragon, he described green fire that burned down his family city. That is what you mentioned, wasn't it, Redwood?
It checks out.
Then it seems that a lot of our problems will be brought to a head if we go up there. And as you say, Rukau, when we succeed at that, then we can come back and perhaps make a decision more about this sheriff.
He can reward us, and then we can kill him.
Maybe.
Cool. Sounds like we've made a decision then. Let's take. Do you guys want 5, or do you want a little bit longer of a break? 5 minutes. Cool. So that'll put us back at 8:13 by my time. See you soon. Hey.
Oh, Spencer, I remember before we started the campaign, I said I might have a Monday that I'll have to miss.
Yeah.
Next Monday, I have a work meeting. I want to lay something out as an option to you. If you'd like, I can drop. You can bring someone in, or I can be here, but it will be like 45 minutes to an hour late.
I'm fine with you joining late. It's a bummer, but I'd rather if you can.
Yeah, I hate it, but I knew one was coming up somewhere this month, and they didn't announce until Sunday. So,
yeah. Well, better have you for the second half than not have you at all. Yeah.
Okay, cool.
Statistically, all the action usually starts an hour in.
Yeah, that's true. We do. We usually have some calmer stuff right at the beginning. Well, let's go get into it. So you guys are. I guess you're just walking. I was going to say riding, but you refused the horses, didn't you? You guys are walking out of Alameen. Maybe you're an hour away, and some riders come up behind you on horseback, and you'll recognize a few of them immediately. One is the sheriff. The other is... Why do I have such a hard time remembering her name?
Alana?
Thank you. Alana. That's sad when the players remember the NPC's name quicker than you do. All right. And a few attendants, some guards, nobody else that you would notice and recognize. And Alana hails... I'm just bad with all names tonight. Hails Rukow, and she says, Rukow! My God has spoken to me.
Good for Nutu. Are you? Sounds like you want to share.
She advised me that this peril that you guys are going to seek, you would need this. And she hands you the previously described black opal necklace. I have laid great blessings inside when you are in need of them. Simply smash it together, and you will hold the power that I have given to you. She bows in some kind of ritualistic manner, you would assume. Are you going to take it?
I mean, is she seeming shady? Can I watch her mannerisms and see if I'm being had?
Yeah. Why don't you go ahead and roll to discern realities?
Seems like a quick change from her previous demeanor, especially if she's with the sheriff. Did you say?
Uh-huh.
Well, she did say the sheriff doesn't know she's an ally.
Doesn't know she's an enemy.
I mean, enemy, my bad.
Yeah. That's true. That's true. Okay, there's that wisdom. I have a 7.
Okay.
So mostly I want to know if she is lying. What's that one?
What here is not what it appears to be.
What here is not what it appears to be? Yeah.
It's not the gift she's giving to you. That is what it appears to be. What's not here, or what is not what it appears to be, is this is not just an innocent excuse for her to meet you. There's a reason she brought the sheriff, because she figured you guys might be able to do the deed now. If you got him alone-ish.
So he doesn't have his bodyguard or anything?
He has a few guards with him and attendants. There's maybe 10 people altogether. What is it in the exchange? Is it a glance? What tells you that she's wanting you to kill him now?
Yeah. I think she does just a shifty-eyed little doe-eye thing. Like she's looking at a predator, and he's the predator, and kind of skittish. But we didn't get it down in writing, so I'm gonna just give her like a what the heck. I said we'd agree to it if we're gonna do it, so obviously not. That's what my face is gonna be like.
Okay. He hops off his horse and he approaches you, Millie, and he said, "Oh, milady, after last night, I couldn't let you leave without saying one more goodbye." And he goes to embrace you.
I will embrace him back. It is far too kind for you to have made such a trip. I hate that you bothered so far me, and don't worry, we'll be back soon enough, and we'll be bringing good news, I hope.
Stab him in the back, 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 stab him in the back.
Can Rukau walk over and poke the sheriff in the chest?
Certainly.
And basically say, I hear that this rat dragon that we are very obviously and with great fanfare going to rid this land of laid some waste to your ancestry in your hometown. Perhaps it is in your interest to back us with your word alone, but perhaps more than that if you are a man of more than just words.
I am a man whose word is all that needs be. What is it that you ask for? And he gives you kind of like a grimace, like he's noticing that you're not human for the first time or something.
He pays attention.
Yeah.
Then Rukau will kind of bow his head and put his hand up to his chest and basically say, I seek orders from an authority worth trusting. So mostly I'm just seeking if he wants to make a contract out of it.
Sure. Yeah, let's see. Yeah, he'll make a contract with you here. I'm trying to think of what the best terms would be. Hobgoblin, if you bring me the head of this rat dragon to set on my castle wall, I will make you the third lieutenant in my house. You'll be in charge of the whole defense of Alameen.
If nobody has issue with that, I'll accept.
And for your companions, and he's looking at Millie, I will have places for them as well, in high honor.
Yeah, he's got a place for me on his staff, I imagine.
And they ride off. Did you want to add something, Eula?
Yeah, Eula isn't paying any attention to the sheriff, but she is coming around the high priestess and sniffing, and obviously very confused by this whole doe person thing. This is a creature that Eula has never seen before, and she will, come up and really get in the high priestess's face, sniffing and looking and touching, and then she'll whisper, Are you prey or are you hunter?
I am a caregiver. I provide for those who have not.
You smell like meat, like food.
Tell me, where did you get these markings?
Say again?
Where did you get these markings you bear?
Eula looks very proud and runs her hand across the ones on her forearm. These ones I made myself. These ones I got fighting my sisters. These ones are from my mother. These ones, and they're very old ones. You can tell these were made when she was a child. These ones I'm proud to say are from my grandmother.
Very curious practice. All of your people do this?
This way we're always with our ancestors. They follow us. They live with us. They give us strength.
All right. I'm going to tell you something out of character. I want you to tell me how she gives this away. She has seen women with this kind of scarification before, and she's trying to not let on that she knows a little bit more about it.
I see. Well, I think, given that Eula is actually being pretty rude to her, calling her food, you would expect her to try to make this a short conversation and push Eula away, but actually she keeps looking at the scars and the patterns and the tattoos and being more interested than you would expect. Especially maybe when Eula points at the grandmother ones. Maybe there's a little gasp or something that indicates familiarity.
Yeah. She's asking out of curiosity rather than disgust, or at least her reaction is such. Cool. As the sheriff mounts up and turns and says one last goodbye to Millie, they all start riding off, and you guys are set to go on your journey. Anything else before the party leaves you?
No, but I do want to ask real quick. We were in town for a couple of days, all told, weren't we?
Yeah. Oh, go ahead and do your level. I'm sorry.
Okay, cool.
Yeah, everybody who levels could take a level. You were in town long enough. Cool. So it's going to be a 3-day journey. So who's going to be watching after food?
Actually, there's another thing I want to ask. Considering I was working with my sort of testing out my creatures, I was wondering if that would work as the prepare move. I forget what it's called, but if that's what it was.
Yeah, if you were in town for 3 days, yeah, you could each take a preparation.
Mm-hmm.
Good thinking.
Did you say each?
Yeah, because you guys were all assuming you decided right away that you were going to go pursue this dragon. So, yeah.
Yeah, because I don't see any reason to spend 3 days other than just prepare. So.
Yeah. So who's gonna be scouting? Eula?
What? I'm sorry. We're looking at managing provisions?
Yeah.
Or
so
undertaking a perilous journey.
Yeah, we're doing the perilous wild version of the perilous journey. So somebody's got to do provisions, and somebody's got to keep you on the right course.
Either, I guess I'll do the navigation. I could do either, but we have a moving larder so far.
Okay. Let's see. Rukau, do you want to do the scouting then? They're all rolls with wisdom.
Okay, then sure. He can be stealthy even in heavy armor.
Or I can do the scouting. Whatever makes the most sense. So the rolls are scouting, navigating, and food.
Yep.
Okay,
sure, yeah.
Can I just ask the question? So who trusts who with handling food? Are we going to have Dreadwin, the Eldridge Mage, handling food spoiling, or are we going to have Millie the noble who can't handle spoiled food when it spoils?
I mean, okay, I should probably do the food. I'll do food. Quartermaster.
All right, so I will do the scouting then.
Okay, and then Ruben or sorry, Dreadwin or Millie, who's going to do the navigation?
I can't see the map because I'm blind, so...
Yeah.
All right, then I'll do the navigation.
Fair enough. Okay, let's get all those rolls at the table. We'll see how quickly you get to your location.
I've got a 7.
I got boxcars.
Nice. And is that a 4 from you?
Yep.
Okay.
Yep, 4.
Okay. So what we're going to do is, so you guys are going to get there in 3 days as intended. And let's see. As you get close to these pillars that look like a hand, you're going to start seeing rats' nests off in the distance, and you can wend your way around most of them, but they start getting closer and closer to one another. They're close enough that you're not going to be able to move past them without like the rats being able to notice you. So Harry, you've got or Eula, you've got a hard choice here as the scout. Do you want to engage with one of these, try and destroy them to prevent the squeaks to get back to their mother, or what other options do you have? Try and find another way around that may have fewer of these.
Well, I think if the nest is small enough that I could conceivably destroy it, that's what I'm going to do. I do have cats with me after all. So this seems like something that I'm well prepared to attempt at any rate. The danger is that if any of those rats escape, I imagine they're all this one big communication network, and our presence will be known instantly.
So let's have you. How are you? So you're just sending the cats in to take a couple of these nests down to make a clear enough path. Is that the intention?
I think I'm working with the cats, so we're all spreading out. We're like, it's almost as if we're hunting wildebeest or something,
Cool.
And so we're trying to surround a nest and then pounce on it. If necessary, maybe I will make a sound to distract or draw the attention of a nest while a number of cats sneak up and start, tearing at rats as they come out of the hole.
Cool. Let's get a defy danger with your wisdom, and you can use your cat's cunning with this as well. So.
Right. What is the cunning of these little beasties? Cunning +2. All right, so that's 11 plus wisdom, which I think is 1. Oh, wisdom's 2. 14. 13.
Sweet. Yeah. You clear out some of these nests, and you do it perfectly. Not a single rat gets to another one. All right. Well, let's come to that fail roll. Rukal, one of the nights, probably the last night that you guys sleep before these nests are taken out, you have a little bit of a dream, and in the dream, there's a monkey face, and he's laughing hysterically, and you see your tribe, and so the face is kind of like the setting sun behind your tribe as they're scattered and destroyed. Did you ever say what creature it was that destroyed your homeland?
No, I don't know if it was a natural disaster, like a tsunami or something.
Okay. But yeah, you see this monkey face laughing as your people are scattered, and then you see clay people, but they're not men; they're actually hobgoblins. And these clay soldiers stand in rows and rows and rows, and each of them has the black opal embedded in their clay chests. And then the monkey appears and kind of like over the face of all of them and says, "Rukal, come to me, I see you." And that's the end of your dream.
Creepy.
All right, so you guys have found the nest of the rat dragon, which apparently is also pretty close, if not the same location as where these annals are. What's your plan?
So Dreadwind has sort of formulated a plan for this occasion, considering there's, as described, more rats than there should be on the face of the planet Earth. The only way to defeat a military of that size is through subversion. So he's going to enchant one of the dead rats that was hunted by Eula, and he's going to give it a heavy enchantment that's going to give whatever eats it a vicious hunger for rats.
Nice.
So that would be a spell roll.
That's a pretty clever plan.
Yeah, I'm just taking a look at your I guess I'm not seeing how this completely aligns with your focus. So you could still cast it, but I think that'll be at a -1.
Correct.
Okay. Cool. So let's have that.
Seven. That goes to a -1, but I can use the preparation to make it a +1 and nullify that.
Cool.
But a 7 is still a 7. You get to choose 2 things.
Yep. So I'm going to say that it's going to be temporary. So once you get this into the rat population, it'll spread kind of as you're describing, and the rats will start consuming each other. But it's only going to last maybe a few hours. It'll give you an opportunity to get in, but not necessarily out. Let's see. And I think your spell has unforeseen side effects. Let me get some ideas from you guys. I'm trying to figure out what an interesting side effect could be of this.
Maybe it affects every living creature, not just the ones that eat it.
Oh, so anybody who touches it?
How about if the rat blood from the slain rats touches bare skin?
Okay, I'm liking that. What did you want to add, Adam?
Just some kind of gluttony, like almost like rabies, except with food instead of water. Like it makes you not just want to eat rat, but never stop. And of course, it's going to affect humanoids.
Cool. So yeah, let's make that the unforeseen side effect, is it doesn't just affect rats, and and just getting the blood on your bare skin can make you contract it as well. Cool. So you've enchanted one of these rats with this kind of disease. How are you going to get that rat to the other rats to clear them out?
Could you specify what you meant by that?
Yes, that was a very convoluted sentence. So the role you had was just like solve the problem of like now the rats will be infected and start consuming one another. I'm trying to figure out how you're going to get this to the group of rats to start consuming one another.
Okay. Well, first off, before I even do that, I'm going to tell everyone just to take whatever they can. Like, if someone has adventuring gear, I'm going to tell them pull out quilts, pull out whatever we can, have everyone cover up any skin. If you're not wearing gloves, pull out a blanket or something and cover it up. Wrap it around. So to that, come again?
Can't fight with our hands covered in blankets. Must be able to move.
Look, are you wearing gloves or not?
Of course not.
Do you want to eat rats today?
Doesn't seem bad.
Choose one.
I'm dressed and covered. Put my helmet on. I have to be able to see. I'm not going to cover my eye holes.
Yeah. Drevlin has tattered robes, but he also carries multiple tattered robes just for this occasion. They're only tattered because he does so many experiments.
So how are you getting this rat to the other rats? Sounds like everybody. Millie, are you taking any special precautions?
Yeah, I'll cover up.
Okay.
I imagine
I'm interested.
Millie did not want red blood on her.
So this will get us in, but will be a messy exit. And so since I'm interested in us surviving, I'm looking to take the hobgoblin move of formation. And so I'm going to just narrativize that by saying that I'm trying to teach Eula and Dreadwin about Millie and my kind of formation techniques. And I'm guessing it doesn't go very well because you guys are like your own animals that do your own thing and sneak off and do whatever. But I try at least to get us into like one of those Roman turtle shell things, square formation. None of you have shields like you should, but whatever. We do what we can. And I think that might help us get in and get out against big swarms that are going to crawl all over us. And I can't protect all of you, so you have to make sure I know where you are and all this stuff. I tried to start getting all A-team montage.
Cool.
If you can make it, you've seen Wonder Woman, the movie, right? You see the Amazon training scene at the beginning.
Yeah.
So I'm used to working as a team.
Oh, nice.
So if you can like put it in those terms, I can totally work with you.
Cool.
As we're kind of preparing ourselves, I'm going to. Do we have indications that perhaps this rat dragon has taken up a nest in the city, but we really don't know for sure. Wouldn't it make more sense for us to, I don't know, take a look to see if it's there? And if it's not, why don't we just kill it before we go looking for books?
I mean, I was pretty sure that the rats were gathered around the rat dragon, and the more rats we found, the more closer we are to the rat dragon itself.
So you think density of rats probably is an indicator?
They gravitate towards them.
That makes
It's
sense.
It's not like some intelligent general that says, I'm going to put all my forces there so that people think I'm there.
Rats aren't very bright.
At least they don't think that way, even if they were bright.
All right. So have we noticed as we're going, you've said that things are getting more and more dense. Does it look like it's dense around that ruins of a city?
Yeah, right. So those fingers that were described, as you guys get closer, you realize that these were actually once towers to the city, and now they're ruins rather than stones, as described before. But yeah, it's got that shape that was described, and in the center, maybe you can climb up on top of one of these. You see the sea of rats around, and you can guess right in the middle is where the rat dragon is.
Well, I can just stick that rat on an arrow and shoot it into the midst.
I was thinking more of a sphere, but that works too.
Yeah, I'm holding on to my spear.
Me too. I only have 2.
Cool. Yeah, Eula. So this is gonna do what you want. It's gonna get it in the middle. They're gonna start feasting on one another. But Eula, I want you to do a dexterity, defy danger with dexterity, to see its efficacy.
11.
And, okay, I was going to say it. I'll aid you, but go right ahead with 11.
Yeah, no need for aid there. Yeah. So, are you up in the tower?
Yeah, that sounds cool.
Cool. Let's hear what it looks like from Eula's perspective.
Are you all up in the tower with me, or did I like scale up? Well, whatever. If there's any higher point than where the rest of us are, I'm going out on kind of a dangerous precipice to get just the right shot. You can see the clinging onto rocks and scaling out, and the wind blowing, taking aim down there. It's just a swarming mass. It's hard to aim at any one point because it's all constantly moving. But there's one there are some nodes of like extra fat rats, maybe lieutenants or mothers or something. So I'll aim to land it right in the midst of a couple of those boluses of rat. You can see the arrow is heavy because of the rat on the end of it, so it arcs this slow kind of downward arc and then splat. And you don't see anything except more frenzied movement down there. And then I'm not sure what would rats look like as they're consuming one another. It's probably just you don't see anything but the rats starting to move toward that point and the pile growing bigger and bigger.
Yeah, and so this
swing down. And now's our time.
gathering, because they're used to eating one another, right? But now that there's so many corpses available immediately, they're coming up in one heap, and that's going to provide an opening if you go around this heap to get to the center of the focal point where you assume the rat dragon is.
Does it look like there's some sort of like hole it's made, or is there a structure that they're all around, or?
Do you have a spyglass or anything to look from a distance with? Does anybody have adventuring gear?
I have adventuring gear. I could probably pull out some sort of some sort of spyglass.
Let's get a discern realities then, using your spyglass to see that far.
Let's see. That's rolled off wisdom, isn't it? Is that rolled off wisdom? Is that right?
Yeah.
I will hand that spyglass over to Gatal and say, do you see anything in the middle?
You're muted.
I'm muted. Yes. Okay. Yes, I'll take a look at that. That's a great idea. One should look at their battlefield before encountering it. And I got a 5.
All
Looks
right.
like I don't know.
So there is kind of like a dip in the ground, and then there's just a heap of rubble, roughly dome-shaped, but not built in this way at all. Yeah, I think that's all you're able to see from this distance.
I bet we should move quickly while we have the opportunity and charge into that dome.
Agreed.
Cool. Mm-hmm. Yeah, so you guys run around the outside of this writhing mass, and it is disgusting. It's probably like 10 or 15 feet high of just like rats on top of one another, consuming each other. The screams are enough that normal people would flee. You guys get close to this heap of rubble, and you can see an opening, probably 10, 15 feet tall, maybe 20 feet wide. And you hear a voice from inside. What have you done with my children?
Is there any sign of melting on the rocks?
Like from fire?
Like from green fire?
Yeah, I think so. Yeah.
Holy cow, it talks.
Are you trying to investigate and learn more about it, about the flame?
Well, I'm looking actually for alternate entrances, given that this looks like a really bad place to enter.
Okay. So, just for fiction's sake, are you swinging right or left of the party?
I think I see, let's say to the right, a bunch of, the rubble is more irregular.
Okay.
So it looks like there might be more holes over there.
Cool. Why don't you get a wisdom roll on the table? It's going to take you a few minutes of walking because this is a very large pile of rubble.
Breaking formation already, Rukal, sorry.
I was wondering if it would be wise to have Eula and Dreadwind go over there, and Millie and I could distracted front on, I guess, with I don't know, a show while you guys get into a more deadly
Splitting
position.
up at this point is a horrible plan either way.
Well, yeah, Eula's split up, so she may die on her own.
Dreadwind, are you following Eula, or did she go off on her own?
I'm just gonna let these other two guys pray to whatever gods they know that Eula's still alive by the time we finish this.
Okay.
So you're staying with us?
Yeah, because I get the sense that Eula is trying to be sneaky about this. So I'm just hoping the rat finds us before it finds Eula, and we have a better 3-to-1 chance than
Okay, splendid.
You all hear the shrieking voice again. They all make plans. They all sit and talk outside of my hovel. They all die too. Why don't you come inside?
Because it's absolutely nasty in there, you horrible ratty bitch. Why don't you come out here? And I'm going to crack my whip over my head.
Oh, a mouthy one. Well, I'm happy to stay here and produce more children. Have them consume you all.
I'll look over at Rukal.
Well, Millie, I think you should go and see what's in there.
Fine.
Millie, does your whip have control over fire?
Not exactly control over fire, no. I can catch things on fire.
Damn. Well, in that case, we have the second best thing. Rukal, you have a shield, right?
Yep.
I think that thing will survive maybe one fire blast before it just consumes itself. So that's the best defense we've got.
My shield is better than the average shield. But actually, Ruben, it sounds like, sorry, Dreadwind.
The curse is spreading!
Well, no, sorry. Dreadwind sounds like he's got more plans than Rukau, so he's second-guessing his leadership. And I wouldn't necessarily mind buying this off and saying, you can take this whole mission, Ruben. Sounds like you know. Dreadwind, you can tell us what to do. I want orders from the sheriff. I could take orders from you, too. Should we charge in? I can be in front.
All right. We'll move in formation just like as you advised us. We got to be ready to dodge as well as take the hit. If we're not efficient in both, I don't think we'll make it.
You stalled long enough. What was your roll for looking for an alternate entrance?
Well, I rolled a 6, but I'm not sure what the roll was. If it was...
Oh, it was extra wisdom. I'm sorry.
Yeah, right. I knew it was with wisdom, but if it was something that the cats can help me find a entrance.
Do they know how to scout?
Let's see. What are their things? Hunt and guard. Hunting.
Looking for an alternate path. Hunt, guard, stealthy, flighty. Yeah, I don't think hunter guard quite fits.
Okay. In that case, it's a 6.
You might be able to use your preparation though. Make it a 7.
So you'll how close? Oh yeah.
Yeah, fictionally, what could that be?
Playing hide and seek with the cats.
We did have a map of the area. If you saw some glyph that none of us understood, that clued you in on something.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah,
I like that.
And also, is this the location of the vision from before?
It is.
Is there anything familiar?
I don't think you guys had passed because it was a cliff face, right? That the vision happened in.
Oh, last week's vision.
Yeah, you guys haven't seen that cliff face, no. So yeah, Eula, you can use your preparation, and I like that you saw something on the map that hinted. And so you see, like 90 degrees from the main entrance, there's a small hole. It looks like large enough for a human to be able to get on their hands and knees and crawl through. The bad thing about that hole, though, is it's smoky. There's like a consistent kind of smoke coming from it.
Okay. I didn't follow Dreadwind's advice about gloves, but I've got bandages kind of wrapped around my hands, and I'll put on a scarf or something tied around my head to around my mouth to help mitigate the smoke and any blood that might splatter into my mouth, for example, and scrabble across the rocks toward that hole, followed by the cats. And we're going in.
Cool. We'll jump back to you in a second. Let's see what the other three are doing.
I think that I kind of realized what Dreadwin was talking about. It took me a few minutes of the, can I control fire with the whip? And I will, kind of as we're getting in formation, if it does breathe, just stay behind me. Blaze and I may be able to stop that.
All right, so you can keep your whip near Rukau. Rukau can deal with if it comes charging at us. I'll see what I can influence if it tries to pull any tricks, and if not, I'll just see if I can mess around with it. But I can tell you right now, I'm not built for a charging rat at
me. Yeah, so Rukau is going to give the formation benefit to Millie, actually, and then we're just going to protect Dreadwin. So I'm mostly going to be defending Dreadwin.
Cool. Why don't you get a defend roll on the table? Are you guys advancing into that large entrance then? Is that what I'm hearing?
Yes, we are Sparta.
Cool.
Front door.
Roll. What was it?
12.
Sweet. So you got 3 holes?
Actually, 13. Wow.
Nice. Yeah, so you've got 3 holds. Just holler when you want to use them. So as you approach, you guys are probably 10 paces from the entrance, and you hear a belching kind of like gurgling noise, and kind of spilling out of the entrance is this fluid on the ground, and there's like rat bones and stuff, and the stink is horrific. What are you guys doing?
I'm going to, that smell's just got to go. That is just not proper. You never read that in the stories, vomiting off of rat dragon smell. And so I think the end of Blaze will begin spinning a bit, and I'm going to attempt to produce a purifying wind around us, kind of a bubble that will take away the smell and maybe a little of the icky that's underfoot.
Awesome. Yeah, let's see you cast a spell.
All right. 6. Oof. That is not fantastic. I will... hate to do that this early, but I'll use my prep and take it up to a 7.
Cool.
So you're going to get choices.
All right. Again, I'm going to choose temporary. So you guys are going to have to act quickly to take advantage of it. It will protect you from like throwing up or vomiting or being affected by this immediately. And then I'm also going to put you in a spot. You guys are still advancing into the cave, and you're spinning your whip, making this protection bubble wind, and your whip cracks and hits one of the stones, and it starts to crumble, and it's going to fall on top of you, Millie. What are you doing?
Oh, shit. I seeing this, and is it look like it's just going to get me, or is it squashing us all?
You guys are in pretty tight formation, so yeah, you might all risk it, yeah.
Then I think I'm probably going to kind of moving away from it. I'm going to back up and throw my shoulders kind of into the two of them to shove us off to the side. I would rather have rolled Dex with just me, but this is probably going to be something more like a con where I'm trying to
Yeah,
get into high danger.
It sounds like a defend kind of thing where it's usually take the damage yourself. So yeah, con sounds fitting.
Yeah, and I think it would be appropriate probably for Rukau to aid if you need it. So go ahead and roll Defy Danger with Constitution.
Okay. Ooh, I think that's a 10.
Awesome.
That's a 10.
Awesome. Yeah, you knock everybody back just in time. It splashes in front of you, and you hear this laughter. Let's go back over to Eula. All right, Eula, you're crawling through this smoke. It's hard to see, hard to breathe. Why don't you roll a Defy Danger with your Constitution?
Let's see. Constitution. That will be a 5.
Oof. All right. So you're going to, I think you're going to pass out for a minute. Yeah. So you're going to be out of the action. And when you come to, I want you to tell me whether it affected your brain, if you feel rattled, or if it's affecting your body, and you'll take a debility as well. I'll let you know. It'll probably be your cats that wake you up, and I'll let you know when they do. All right, back to everybody in the front entrance. You're walking through this slosh of nastiness. Are you guys trying to hurry, or are you taking your sweet time? What's the idea here?
I think we're on a pretty quick move, aren't we?
Yeah, whatever kind of hustle Dreadwind can handle without splitting too much up or losing our step or anything. Or being
Dreadwind's actually incredibly quick for what he looks like.
Oh, then yeah.
Cool. So yeah, you guys get through this entrance, and as you enter the entrance, you see it's a large dome room inside. It's low light because there is light coming through, but there's like no torches or anything. I mean, it's a rat. What do they need torches for? So what are you guys doing as you enter the room?
We do have a flaming whip, so torches aren't a matter.
So I'll be on the lookout for the biggest rat I can see, I suppose.
Okay.
Find the king, and they'll all fall, scatter.
Cool. Let's see. Trying to think if that's better as a defy danger or not investigate.
Discern realities.
Discern.
Yeah. Let's do discern realities. I think that makes more sense to see what you can spot in the light here.
4.
Okay. You see a large heap right in the center of the room, and it seems to be moving just slightly. And you see even a tail kind of wiggling behind it, and you hear the voice. You are so bold to come into my home. I like you all. What are you guys doing? Oh, and I should mention the voice like echoes, so you can't tell where it's at.
Okay.
I think Dreadwind would be able to tell where it's at, though, considering he uses the sound itself, echolocation.
It's bouncing off everything. It's coming from everywhere.
So Rukau's first instinct would be to announce himself and say, "We are bold. I am Rukau Tashkula, and soon the Tashkula will rule this land and eat rat every night happily over their fires, roasting and spitting your bones out on the ground."
Let's start that fire now. And from above you, a gout of flame whoosh, comes down. You guys have a moment to react.
I would like to attempt to use my new ability, and I'm going to do my, let's see, where is she at? There she is. My counterspell strike.
Ooh, good thinking.
When I deflect a ranged attack or spell with my weapon, I roll dex. Come on, baby. Oh, crud. It does not work. I rolled snake eyes. That's a 4.
Well, Rukau, you still have some time to react. This is going to get you guys pretty hard, but are you going to use any of your hold from defend?
Can I redirect it all to me and not them?
You sure can. Yeah, are you shoving them out of the way? Are you holding it above their heads? What are you doing?
Can I do an awesome jumping backflip? And just so that I can put my whole body in like a swan dive with my shield in front of myself. But just so that it's cool and like foolhardy looking. Yeah,
you sure can.
It does allow me to have 5 armor against this, which is kind of ridiculous, but
cool. You are going to take 3d6 of damage, and if any of those end up as a 6, you're going to have to destroy an item you carry.
Ooh. Okay.
Oh no!
Where did
Is that
it
a
roll?
6?
Oh, my thing is a delay. Oh, so it was. Shoot, I don't know what was there before. Room total is 5, so I think it was a 2. Last roll total is 5.
Wait, room total I think is the whole thing, is everything.
Well,
Yeah,
it's the last roll total should be what you rolled.
So then you rolled a 2, a 2, and a 1, I think? That means?
Yeah, 5. It was
That-
a 1-6 before.
That is.
Oh, the 6 was the 6 there before?
Yeah, it was 6 and a 1 or 6 and a 2 before, and the room total 5.
Oh, I thought
was
it
a
was
2,
new. I got really nervous. I thought you rolled like a 6, a 2, and a 2. Get
Yeah,
scared.
here, I'll move this. If it's room total 5 or new total 5, that's awesome because then that's 0.
Well, wait. Okay, so you did roll the 1, the 2, and the 2.
Yeah, I did a total of
That's what it
5
looks
for
like,
3d6.
Cool. Yeah, so you're able to take it all and shoot. and she pounces on top of you afterwards. Yeah, she just drops on top of you. So what are you doing about that?
Like from the ceiling?
Mm-hmm.
I think I would hold my spear up and then wrestle her. Look for places that are arteries that I can grab onto with graspy gauntlets, and use my spiked knee greaves and whatnot. Close quarters is fun quarters. So
Cool.
I guess bite. I'll bite her back too. So what? Hack and slash?
Yeah.
Or someone else? Okay. So I'll just roll my 2 over here.
Wait, I just have to ask one thing also.
Yeah, what's up?
He chose formation. He gets to choose one person.
Yeah, I picked Millie. So
Oh,
Millie
okay.
has +1 armor, and I have +1 armor, and yeah. So we're theoretically defending you between the two of us.
Okay. And are you getting a +1 from your contract, or is that not a thing?
I am. Oops. Yeah, I am. When I remember it. So I rolled a 6 and a 4, plus strength of 2 is 12.
Awesome. So are you taking extra damage, or are you avoiding the blows?
I will take blows just to take measure of what she's capable of and do extra damage to her.
Cool. Go ahead and roll your damage.
So that's 10 and 6. Come on, come on. 7.
Okay. And then you will be taking D8 plus. Oh no, sorry, D10 plus 3.
Okay.
And this is from mainly her teeth. She's trying to get you with.
I just learned how I can change the color of these dice. That'll help. Okay, so D10 plus 3, so 7. And now I only have -4, so 3 damage. Okay, awesome. There's a flurry of blood and grunting.
How much damage did you take?
4 total, 7 on the roll.
Cool. So that's a 7 plus 3.
Oh, sorry. 4 on the die plus 3 is 7.
Okay, cool.
And then minus.
Yeah, give us a quick description of how this few seconds of fighting goes, and then we're going to go over to Eula.
I mean, I'm guessing if it's really huge, and like, I'm picturing really matty, kind of fatty rat tissue and fur all over the place, and so Rukao would be kind of buried under it, but he's kind of chuckling and roaring and loving the kind of old Herculean Grecian wrestling bout with spears poking through, and he's getting his skin cut and whatnot. But it's seeming to be fun.
Cool. All right, Eula, your cats arouse you. Maybe one of them's like licking your face. They're tugging at you. What ability did you decide to take from reading all that?
Sick. I'm barfing from the fumes and noxious poisons coming up through this shaft. You can see me spitting and drooling, and at first I'm totally disoriented with this whole thing, and it's dark. I can feel the familiar licking of the cats, but I don't know what's going on. But then I hear the roar as the rat thing is breathing its noxious stuff in the other chamber, and I'm roused to feel my way forward.
Cool. Feeling your way forward, you probably crawl another 30 or 40 feet, and you're going to come up. You could see across not across, to your left, like the 90-degree angle, you could see this combat that just started happening. And you're in, and you see the source of this smoke was green fire that she has lit all around the outside of the cavern, and it's just like billowing up smoke, but it's along the whole rim of the area.
Interesting.
What are you doing?
Before I get into visual range, when I hear when it sounds like I'm getting close, I'm stopping and pulling out my bow and notching an arrow and saying a prayer to the blind god. It's kind of like use the force loop. It's trust in not seeing to be able to hit. So I'm casting the magic weapon spell for an 8. Not sure if you roll plus wisdom or just...
Yeah, it'll be plus wisdom.
All right, so that's a 10. So it's an extra d4 of damage when I hit.
Awesome.
No negative effects in terms of losing the spell or anything. Having done that for the second time, the blind god has answered my prayers. I start crawling forward again. The cats are not trained to fight any abomination like this, but if we encounter rats in this hallway, they'll be chewing on them and maybe going crazy as a result. Anyway, so once I get out into the chamber, I'm trying to make myself as small as possible and get a shot off at this thing. I'm aiming for its head. Its beady little rat eye. And that probably is hard with Rukau messing around down there, but I'm going to do my best.
Okay, so you are going to fire even though that they're in close combat?
Yep.
Okay.
So this is a...
this will be a volley roll.
I think they call it.
Oh, are you called shot to... Oh, yeah, okay.
They don't know that I'm there. Does the sickness affect things at all?
It'll be a -1 to your constitution.
Okay, so just just constitution rolls. All right, cool. All right, called shot. Here we go. Plus dex. 9 plus 2 is 11. So that's a hit. Deals damage, and on the head, they do nothing but stand and drool for a few moments. So,
go ahead and do your damage roll, and then we'll look at the other party members, see what they're doing.
And 8 points, including the magic arrow.
Awesome. Sorry, doing math in my head. Okay, so yeah, I think she had her incisors like clamping onto the front of Rukau's shield, and then she gets struck in the side of the head, and she's just like, for a moment, she releases, and you guys have a few moments to do what you please. What is it that you're doing?
Yeah, I think Dreadwind is going to take this opportunity to cast Black Magic on it. And considering it's sort of like, it's mentally stunned as well, this is going to be an extra help to sort of mold it and shape it. It's basically just going to be like, it's going to look like the skin is just like, the bones are just starting to stick out, like they're trying to break free, almost like. So you're just going to see like various bones just like.
Can Rukau use one of my defend holds to give you +1 opening on this as well? Because I don't want you to make this a more abominable abomination.
I think once you got into combat with her, your hold goes away.
Oh, okay.
Longer defending.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Go ahead. Pick your tax, Dreadwind.
All right, messy and forceful.
Okay, that means you're going to need to be. Or wait. Battle
No,
mage you have to have. Oh no, you automatically get close. Is that right?
My range no longer counts as one of the tags, so it's a free tag basically.
Cool.
So
Messy.
near is the necessary tag, so near gets added to it, as well as messy, which gives a plus 1d4, and forceful.
Cool. Go ahead and do your roll.
Okay. Let me just roll the right ones here. I'm gonna roll these 2 blue ones down here. That's a 11. No aid necessary.
Sweet. All right. Deal your damage.
That's a D. Oh wait. Oh, yeah. It's D8.
Oh, a D8 for the spell.
Yeah, and a D4. I'm gonna need actually. If someone could give me that.
What do you need a D4 for?
It adds to the damage from messy.
Oh, yes.
Black magic has a bonus to messy.
Yep, I see it. So all you have to do is on the roll for your party. Oh, did you add it?
I gave him
All right. Let's re-roll selected. That is 9.
9 damage. Okay.
And that's forceful and messy. And
Yep.
I think you know how messy it is already.
Yeah, we see some bones start to pop out like you were describing. What are you doing for forceful? Are you knocking it away or?
The bones start jutting into the ground, sort of sticking into there. Sort of like, kind of like wedging the bones into there while they're still attached to the rat.
Cool.
So it's sort of stuck into the ground.
Cool. Millie, what are you up to?
I am going to, let's see. So it seems like it's at least knocked back a little bit from Rukal, and it's huge, right? It's really big, right?
Yeah, we're talking like 2 tons, like elephant size. This thing is very big.
Wonderful. I'm going to start running towards, where it's been knocked off to the side. I'm running towards its rear, and then in almost, wushu fashion, I'm going to, just tips of the toes running up its back as I leap up into the air, whip down my sword, trying to wrap it around its neck and say, "You're not the only one with fire, lady." And I'm going to attempt to hack and slash, and then I'm going to channel my energy to do the burning from my whip.
Cool.
But let's see if I can manage to roll worth of shit and hit.
I don't think this is even a hack and slash because she's not resisting you. I think you could just do your fire thing.
I'd rather do my damage thing.
Yeah. Well, so you'll lighting her on fire. You'll deal your damage. Do you still want to get on top of her though and do that?
Yeah, I want to do the big reckless thing there. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, deal your damage, and then we'll catch her on fire. Are you wrapping it around where?
I'm attempting to wrap it around kind of where her neck is, and the idea is just to kind of catch her rough on fire.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't think it does extra damage. It's mainly for effect. All right, let's. I am rolling horrible. 2 points of damage.
Oh dear. Okay. Yeah. So it catches, but it's like you said, it's just around the neck, right where your whip was. It's almost like she's covered in some kind of saliva or goo. Like she just rolls around in filth all the time. It doesn't like. Okay. All right. So her moment of being stunned is over, and she starts scurrying up the side of the wall, like on the underside of the dome, and that'll
carried along with her.
Yeah, I was going to say, are you trying to hold on? Or?
Oh yeah.
Okay. I think that's probably your constitution to keep held on as she goes up.
All right. I'm gonna roll a little better here. Oh well. All right. That's 13.
Awesome. Yeah. So you can hold on as long as you feel like. So she gets like on the underside of this curve, and she lets out this cry, and you guys hear this scurrying outside again. Seems like Dreadwind's spell has lost effect, and they've stopped consuming one another, and they're coming to help Mama. What are you guys all doing?
This is where eldritch monsters come to life.
On our behalf or against us?
Little bit of both. You'll see what I mean. He's actually gonna summon those gaping maws again, and he's gonna start using them as a perimeter around everyone. Of course, they can get a little bit indiscriminate and sometimes pop up under people, but that's part of the price.
As soon as the Mama goes up the wall out of and off of him, Ruka will go back over to Dreadwind and defend him again, I suppose, against whatever's coming. And the safest place to be is probably right with the mage who's not going to hurt himself.
Cool. Yeah, let's get a defense roll from you and cast a spell from Dreadwind.
After you.
You're muted, dear.
Sorry, 12 again.
So keep that 3 hold.
Oh, can your defend give me a +1?
Yeah.
Then you can turn my 9 into a 10.
If I give you an opening against something I'm defending you against.
Yeah.
Ah, damn. All right.
Yeah.
Well, then in that case, yeah, in that case, it's just a 9.
Okay. All right, and so the intent is to put a perimeter around you, specifically against the smaller rats. Is that what I heard, or is it just a general perimeter?
It's perimeter around for the rats.
Okay.
I mean, the closest thing to a perimeter we have is that fire that it seems to have around Eula, but we need something for the rats to fall into.
Okay, so you're going to take -1 ongoing to cast a spell. And your spell's effect is going to do less than you had intended. So it's going to block one side, either outside from that entrance you guys came in, or the other side into the room. Which side do you want to protect against?
So you mean the side that Eula came in, or the side that we came in?
So the entrance, either it'll block off that side that you guys came in, or it'll kind of make a perimeter on the other side, kind of on the side closest to this large room.
Let's do the one that's closest to the large room, maybe. Mm-hmm. Yeah, so we can get a few rounds in before we're overwhelmed.
Okay. All right. Millie, how is it that you're holding on to this thing so well?
Well, I've got a whip wrapped around its neck, so I'm hanging on with my whip and kind of riding it up and hanging off of it, I suppose. But I'm trying to keep myself at least feet on the back of it.
Cool. So,
is it gone upside down, or are we still vertical?
Yeah, so if this is the curvature of the dome, she's probably like here. So you're not completely upside down, but you're partially.
Okay. Is it me going?
Yeah, it's your opportunity. I think with the 12+, you could still act while you're holding on up there.
Okay. So I'm going to kick off of her and kind of, holding on with her moving one direction. I'm going to kind of walk the side of the wall till I get, just run. Then Blaze will release from her. And as I'm starting to fall, I'm going to whip crack back around and try and just put her a good solid strike across the gut. I think I'm just going at her.
Sweet. And you're hoping that this will catch on to her again so you don't continue to fall. Is that right?
Yeah, how far up am I?
It's like 30 feet or so.
Then probably I'll probably go for like a back leg because I don't think I can wrap all the way around this thing's gut with my whip.
Okay.
So,
all right. Let's see. I think that's a hack and slash.
All righty. Roll better. That's a 6.
Can I use preparation on other people's behalf? I don't know how that would work.
Millie, you already used yours?
I think I'm the only one with mine left.
I did use it, though I figured out later I didn't have to. I used it when I did it on that spell to get up to a 7, but I'd forgotten to add my 1 in because it was in my focus. But that's neither here nor there. But Eula, you could distract her to give me, I mean, you've got a bow. You could give me an aid.
That's a great idea. I imagine that I'm up, like maybe halfway up the dome. Is that right?
Yeah, that's what I kind of imagined too.
Thing came out. So yeah, seeing this craziness, I would be both trying to move if there's any handholds and footholds around the edge of the dome where I am. I'd be trying to move to get a better shot. And I'm just shooting at the thing, but seeing what Millie's up to, I think it's a brilliant idea because if she's falling and she does the whip and grabs the leg of the thing, she might be able to yank the whole thing down. That might not be so good for Millie, but it'd be good for the killing off the giant rat. So yeah, if I can maybe shoot and try to take out one of the other feet that's holding on to.
So this is what I'm thinking. To have this count as aid, I want you to expend an ammo. Like you're firing enough of these arrows at her that even if you're not hitting her and hurting her, it's a distraction to Millie get the aid. Does that make sense?
Oh, yeah.
Cool. So mark off 1 ammo and then go ahead and roll aid with your dexterity.
And I got a 6.
Oof. Okay. So, Millie, you do your thing. You catch onto the foot, and then your hand starts to slip. Your palm is sweaty. You slip and you fall. You're still swinging, so you hit the wall and then fall the rest of the way to the ground. I think that's a D12. It's a pretty far fall. And then why don't you give us the fiction of what part of your body you land on as well?
Well, I rolled a bunch too many dice, but one of them was a 12. So I took 8 points of damage. Hopefully my armor is applying in this.
Yeah, armor still applies, yeah.
All right, so it'll go down to 6. I'll mark that in just a second. So as I smack into the wall and Blaze leaves my hand, and I sort of tumble backwards, and I think that I attempt to kind of do a flip back to land on my feet, but being stunned by kind of hitting that wall has discombobulated me, and so instead I end up just doing a solid belly flop straight to the ground, and there is a resounding sort of thump and then you can kind of hear my breath as I land there. Though with kind of my last bit of breath that's in me, I go, Blaze to me. And we see the whip just sort of shake off of it and whap, right back to my hand.
Cool. I'm just going to have you take -1 forward to your next roll.
Okay.
General. And for the bad thing that happens with Eula, you hear the tunnel behind you. Actually, you kind of crawled out, right? So there's too many rats coming in this entrance. Your cats have been doing a pretty good job keeping them out of you, but they're starting to pour through. And one of your cats is going to take damage. I'm trying to remember how that works with your. Do you have health on yours? No, you don't. Sorry, it's been a while since I played with the old ranger. I'm going to say for the next little while, your cats are so occupied, you're not going to be able to fictionally use them to get bonuses. That make sense? Okay, cool. All right, so back to our friends at the front entrance. There's some coming from all the cracks around the dome. You know, they're starting to spill in, and your horrors are consuming them. So your backs are covered into the cave, but in front of you, you see a pretty large group headed your way. I know you guys were set up defensively before. Are you doing anything else, or are you just planning on getting into melee as they come at you?
Since my spear is long and forceful and messy, I think he could sweep through rats pretty easily. So I think Rukal would advise Dreadwind, are you able to remove its ability to stay on the ceiling? I want to kill it, but I can't reach it. The big one, I mean. I'll take care of these if you want to focus on her.
I think I can do just that.
Okay. So yeah,
Cool.
then he'll just sweep through one hand with his spear.
So is that a defense move, like draw them all to you, or are you trying to hack and slash and kill some of them too?
I think it would probably be hack and slash, and if he gets attacked, I'll redirect to me.
Cool.
Does that work?
Roll hack and slash then.
Let's get messy and forceful. My tab is being slow. Okay, here we go. 11.
Cool. Yeah, I assume you're going to choose to not take damage, or do you want to deal extra damage to this swath of rats?
Is there any chance that damage would whittle it down?
Let's put a threshold. If you're able to deal 8 damage, it'll give you a moment of solace. You'll kill enough of them that they back off.
Oh yeah, then I'll do extra. I'll throw myself into it and like we throw them, pull them off while he gets some time.
Cool.
So
go ahead and do your damage.
Is 17. Oh.
My boy, what have you done?
I maxed out.
It looks like that writhing pile you saw outside, but now it's a hobgoblin in the center of it. It's just like blood flying, rats hitting the walls.
Yeah, wow.
You probably killed them before they even made their retreat.
They are going to do 4d4 of damage to you, though.
Okay, bring it on. 44.
Ten.
Oh, come on. Yep, 10. Okay, 10 minus 4, 6. So they give good.
All right. The rat dragon jumps down and is going to attack Millie. Millie, what are you doing about it?
I'm guessing it's trying to leap directly onto me.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm going to try and at least have enough wherewithal to roll away. Maybe like whip out and yank myself to at least not have it squish on top of me. But I think that's the best I can manage.
Cool. Let's have a defy danger with your dexterity.
All right. And I'm -1 forward on this. That's 8, 10, 9.
Cool. All right. So you roll out of the way. It lands right where you were, and you get the feeling if it had landed on you, you would be out cold. It grabs a hold of your whip and rips it out of your hand, so it's in its mouth and kind of out of your reach. All right. Let's take a look at Dreadwind. What were you wanting to do?
Well, since it literally just decided to fall on the floor instead of that, I'm going to try to pin it down the same way I did with the bones. But since it's sort of just like flat on the floor, I'm going to have its legs, like the bones within its legs, just pinned down into the ground.
Okay, so is this cast a spell?
Yeah, either that or black magic. Your call.
Well,
I mean,
sounds more like cast a spell since you're going for effect rather than damage.
okay. Let me roll 2d6. Well, that's a 4. I mean, it's not a full 4, but like, there's no way that's going to be success. So, yeah. Let me mark XP.
Okay. All right. What? So it looks at you as you're casting this spell. You're doing your muttering, and your eye starts glowing, and its eye also glows red. What? Give me an insight. Where do you think this creature is from? Because it seems to know something about your magic.
It's not. This is the kind of magic that Dreadwind more happens upon than anything. Like, this would be a unusual rarity. So, I don't think Dreadwind could conceive how this is possible.
Okay. All right. Yeah. So in your confusion, you're going to take -1 ongoing because it's like taking this spell you're casting at it and just forcing it straight back down your throat. So it'll be -1 ongoing until you do something to recenter yourself on your magic. All right. Let's do quick positions just to make sure everybody knows where everybody's at. So we've got rats starting to come in from all the little crevices in the hovel. We've got Millie kind of on the ground still, right? Because you rolled out of the way. And the rat queen or the rat dragon's a little ways away. Eula is far to the other wall. Her cats are pretty well engaged, but she's fairly safe. We've got a wall of horrors that are protecting Dreadwind and Rukow's back. Rukow just chased away the rats that were coming in from outside. And I think we said that was it temporary as well for your horrors?
No, we said it. We said I take a -1 ongoing to spells, and that it affects less.
Yeah, good remember. Yeah, so those are going to hold strong. Who's got an idea of what they want to do with the situation at hand? Oh, the one detail I forgot is that she's got Millie's weapon in her mouth.
I've got an idea.
Yeah.
I don't know if this fits with your concept of space, so let me know if this is, if I'm thinking of it incorrectly. But what I'm thinking is there are rats coming in through the hole that I crawled through. I need to get away from them, and if I can get up in the air, I might be able to distract this thing long enough for Millie to get her weapon. So what I'm thinking is I reach into my waist and get a grappling hook with a rope on it and swing it, grapple onto somewhere on the roof, attach that to my belt, and then I'm swinging out, so I'm dangling kind of in the middle of this dome. Just before I jump, I whistle, and the cats jump on me. They're clinging with their claws onto my back and shoulders. And I'm swinging there, raining arrows down on the thing, trying to get it to look up and drop Millie's whip.
Cool. So it sounds like that's probably defy danger with your charisma to get the attention. You're skilled enough. You'll find purchase somewhere up there, right?
Yeah.
Let's see if what you're putting on is something that the rat dragon wants to watch.
Oops, a 6 and a 5, 11.
All right. Yeah, the rat dragon does. She looks up at the sound of the whistle. She starts scurrying your way, and at some point drops the whip, maybe 10 or 15 paces from Millie. And as she gets underneath you, you're still too high in the air. She's like on her hind legs, chomping at you. And she just gets mad enough. She spits a gout of flame up your direction. So why don't you take 3d6 damage?
That's 14.
Are any of them
Minus-
sixes?
Cow. Oh yeah, good reminder. Were any of those sixes?
Nope. 5, 5, and 4.
So this
ones.
team
13.
around you. Harry, give us a description, or you will give us a description. What does it feel like to be touched by green flame rather than red?
I don't know. The best thing I can imagine is similar to what I've told hydrofluoric acid does. It doesn't actually burn the skin when it touches, but it's absorbed by the skin and goes to the bone. So there's, I'm sort of surrounded by this halo of green, and maybe like my, arm hairs burn off, but there isn't a big scarification on my skin, but you can see I'm weakened. I'm dying inside.
Cool. What did the rest of you do in seeing Eula in this precarious position?
Rukow, you haven't gone in a while.
Was I going through the rats in a direction that would be towards the big one?
No, you scattered them out and away.
Back out. Okay.
Yeah. So you'll have to go past the horrors to get to where Eula is.
I would expect something of Millie, I suppose. I mean, I'm not afraid of horrors if I just have to go past horrors to get to the Rat Queen, whatever it's called, Rat Dragon.
Yeah, I'm not saying the horrors are gonna stop you. I'm just trying to.
So yeah, since I had such great success, I'm going to leave all the bodies there and then turn back and take my turn since Millie is in danger, and now Eula also are falling to this thing. So I will cease my defense of Dreadwin, I suppose, and attack it.
Okay. So
unless someone seems obviously about to get chomped or blasted again, in which case I would defend them. But otherwise, I'll just attack her.
Yeah, I think it's been like Tyler said, it's been a minute since you went, so I think you will have had time to run over there and engage with her. So you're just hack and slashing then, as it sounds like?
Yeah, mainly trying to get my spear into puncturing whatever it is that makes her fire so that she can't do that anymore.
Okay.
Since we were wrestling around, maybe I got some feel for her anatomy. That's what I'm hoping with Messy.
Okay, sounds good.
It's a 4 on the dice, plus 2 is 5, 6, and I can spend my 1 preparation to make it 7.
Do you have ongoing from contract?
Oh, yeah, plus the contract.
Oh, yeah.
So I don't have to do the preparation yet. So, yes, just 7.
All right. Yeah, you guys are going to exchange damage then, so go ahead and roll your damage, and then she's a d10 plus 3 in close combat.
Okay. So mine is 7. And hers is 4. All right. So, yep.
So what is that? What does that bring your health down to? 16?
It doesn't do anything this time because it's 4 damage off 4.
For the armor. Nice.
Yeah. So yeah, mainly trying to smack her in the neck where I suspect there's glands or whatever, and whip her head back from where Millie's under her, and I forget where Eula was positioning wise, but just knock her around. So again, she gets chomped down on your shield, and you get that spear right here, and there's like a burst of green light. You get a feeling you got what you aimed for there. Now, Millie, you're starting to get surrounded by these rats. They're not too thick yet, but they will be soon.
Okay. And is Rat Dragon still up? Is that right, or is she down?
Yeah, she's not up trying to grab at Yule anymore. She's tangling with him on the ground.
Okay. And you look pretty awful.
She looks pretty bad. Yeah, she looks very weak. She's still holding on to her rope, though. She hasn't fallen.
Okay. I don't know if I could do much to help Eula unless I feel like something's going. Is it ongoing, does it look like, with Eula, or is it just that she's taken all of this horribleness and now it's done?
Yeah, it looks like it's done. She's not like lit a flame or anything like that.
Okay. All right then. Well, I still feel like I'm gonna have to, I want to finally hurt this damn thing. So I'm going to, seeing that Rukau has it sort of, taken, engaged at the moment. I've got these rats coming around me, but hopefully I can manage to get over to it for one last attempt. So I'm going to turn and run towards Rat Dragon and leap up, nothing in my hand at the moment. But as my hand moves down, I say, "Blaze to me!" And it just appears in my hand and whip down, smacking it hopefully right. I'm trying to not aim, but I'm trying to hit about where that spear has gone in and maybe, widen that wound.
Cool. Yeah, so she'll still be able to fight with Tego with you with the with her tail. She uses it like. So go ahead and roll hack and slash.
I'll probably fail horribly. Oh, I didn't this time. Hurrah! I got a 10.
Sweet. Are you going to dodge her blows, or are you going to deal extra damage?
I'm dealing extra damage.
All right. How much do you deal?
11, 12.
Wow. Very impressive. Okay.
After all this time, that sounds worth it.
Yeah.
She hits you with her tail, and it's going to deal. Sorry, I'm looking up how much her tail does. Thought I had it open. Here we are. It's a D8 plus 2.
There we go. 4 plus 2.
Mm-hmm.
6 points. Takes it down to the... I still have formation bonus, right? Yep, because we're both still up. So takes it down to 4.
Cool. So describe for us how this blow finishes the rat dragon.
Oh, does that get it? All right. So as I come whipping in at it, I think I managed to hit right where that where the point of the spear is already in it, and as the whip goes in, it kind of tangles around the spear and drives Rukau's spear deeper into it, shoving it in about half the staff of the thing into it, the shaft of it into it.
Awesome. That's a great killing blow. All right. I want to hear. These rats are still coming in, even with her shrieking and writhing and falling down dead. I want to hear from each of you, kind of like big level, big picture. what you're doing to scare off these rats so they don't overwhelm you, even though the mother's dead.
I actually have an idea.
Sure.
You remember the bones that I pulled out from its body earlier?
Mm-hmm.
We can have our heavyweights push those over towards near the entrances to block it off. I mean, these are elephant bones.
Yeah, so you could block the main entrance. That could be one. They're still coming in little cracks because this is like a rubble pile. You know, they can find their way in from other directions. So
I mean, we have to get out at one point. So
yeah, eventually we have to get out. But does it look like there's a way further in? Is this where we think the repository is?
I think it would be kind of hard to tell with the rats still around. Yeah, let's see how you're dealing with. You gotta scare them away or something. Something. Otherwise, they're gonna overwhelm you guys.
So could I just roar at them like I did with the bandits? And they're smaller than me, I'm guessing, all the little ones.
Yes, you could.
They're still giant rats, but they're smaller than me. So yeah, I'll just do the banging on the shield and be kind of alpha contest if possible.
Cool.
Charisma. Oh my. So that's a 5. Even with preparation would make it 6. So
I think this is a whole party effort, so one of you guys can fictionally help if you want.
If you want to be terrifying. You don't want to mess with us?
We got those fires that are going, right? If those are coming from some sort of, urn or something that could be knocked over and spreading fire that would scare the rats.
Cool. Yeah. So you like swing over to the edges and you're starting to knock this fire, big bursts of that green flame all over the rats.
Yeah, I suppose we also have lots of adventuring gear, so we all could just get torches out, too.
Cool. Let's, Eula, that sounds like probably quick thinking. Why don't you roll A plus your intelligence?
That's an 8 plus 1 is 9.
Awesome. So yeah, you'll give the +1 to him.
That's all we need.
What do you do on a 7 to 9 with that?
With me? They can choose to attack or flee, but otherwise they obey the command to respect our right to be here.
Okay. Yeah, I'm not going to be a jerk and have them attack you because that's exactly what you're trying to prevent. Yeah, you clear out, you scare them off. You guys are safe and have 5 minutes to breathe. As you look over the carcass of this hulking dragon rat.
I'm going to run over to Eula and, are you all right? And be pulling out some of the herbs and such, like old herbs and poultices, and trying to help her.
Yeah, she looks at you and she says, "Yes, I'm fine," but you can tell she's not. The look on her face is not fine.
Okay. I have bandages. I don't know who got the herbs and well, maybe we didn't even get any. Okay. I'm going to attempt to start bandaging her up where I can see like your maybe bones have cracked or split. And I begin, it's okay. All of us sometimes need a little bit of help. And you could probably see that, like, I have where I've fallen on the ground, my chin is all busted up, and I'm sort of limping along now that the adrenaline's starting to fade.
I collapse a little bit, putting my weight onto you, and then slide down to the ground.
I'll go down to you as I'm bandaging, and I think probably for the first time we'll see you know, because you helped. We've been in battle, real battle together here. This was a tough one, and I think you'll see Millie kind of stroke your hair as she's trying to bandage you up. It's going to be okay. It's going to be okay.
Sister, thank you.
Let's call the night there. And
Actually,
oh, did you want to do?
Dreadwind is sort of just like, he has a sudden sort of furiousness in him. And for the first time, you sort of see him pull out his dagger. And he walks over wordlessly towards the corpse and starts carving it up. He seems to sort of be looking for something, like completely heedless of whatever innards he might encounter.
Okay. Trying to think. Are you going for something specific here?
Yeah. He knows what he's looking for.
Ruben, can I try to turn one of your keys?
Yeah, I wanted to do like a flashback, honestly. I had wanted to do this for a while. We're gonna have a whole scene with it, but we're running out of time.
Yeah, true.
Is anybody on a time crunch? Do we mind if Ruben takes a 3 or 4 minutes?
Yeah, go for it.
Okay, yeah. Let's see your flashback as you start carving this thing up.
Yeah, this is probably a good time. So this will be the flashback to the night before we made it to the rats. And it's sort of just like a regular night. Fire is crackling. You know, people are sort of just going to sleep. And Dreadwind just abruptly walks over to Rukau and simply says, "We need to talk."
Okay.
Tell me, what questions do you have of me?
I'm kind of curious what you're going to do with the body of this big rat dragon once we slay it. You've probably never seen such a glorious creature's corpse as that.
Oh, wait, hold on. We're still in the flashback, right?
Yeah,
Okay.
but he's confident.
I have no interest in the rat dragon's corpse. I mean, I'm no necromancer. I don't reanimate things. At least, not without changing them in some way. But anyway, that's beside the point. You have accepted me beyond my expectations, and I'm grateful for that. I'd like to give you something and ask for an oath from you. And with that, he pulls out a book. He sort of just waits for a response.
I'm not great at reading. Is this do you want me to read it for you?
No. If you make it through this endeavor and I don't, I want you to bring this somewhere. That's all I ask.
I mean, I have a million questions like about your family and whatnot, but I just figured you don't like to talk about it.
Family, no. That doesn't matter. But have you ever heard of the Hands of Fate?
I don't remember if Rukau does or not.
They're a school of magic. I, a lifetime ago, used to teach there. But teaching, it was a joy. I taught what I called flesh and crafts.
So it's like your clan then?
More like I was creating one. I mean, I had to promote it to the deans. They've never seen anything like that. All the other teachers have to go through it when they want to petition for something. But that's beside the point. Eventually, you search for something that you can't find in teaching others, so I secluded myself to my own little tower of mine. And that's when he pulls off his blindfold, and you see one empty eye socket, and in the other you don't see an eye. You just see a red orb with veins sort of going into it.
That looks like it itches.
It was the most beautiful vision. I won't say how it happens. I never read that. But I saw the most beautiful thing. It was like just perfect. It was our universe, our realm, everything. Not the people, they're quite rotten, perhaps myself. But then I turned around, and they were there. All of them. I don't know how, but all of them were there. He just looks down for a second and says, "So, that's how I tore out my own eyes."
All of the Hand of Fate or all of your creatures?
They're not my creatures. They may seem like it. I am their envoy. I am their connection to this world. And this book is all the information I can ever gather, that if they ever make their way into this world, this perfect world, it's the only thing I can think of to save it.
Hand of Fate, if you don't live?
If I don't live, then the contents of this book can't get any bigger, and I'll pray that the next person who finds this power of mine doesn't use it so foolishly. And with that, he just puts the book in your lap and just walks away.
You got it.
Cool. Beautiful scene, guys. All right, let's do our experience and keys, and then
Little quick thing of housekeeping. And like I said, I did bandage you, Eula. We should have a few minutes, so even if it's slow, I think that'll give you 4 back, and I bandaged myself to get 4 back.
cool.
Yeah. Also, I'm pretty sure my -1s are more or less gone. The one from needing a few minutes to think properly, and the one from opposing magic.
Well, so I want you to do something in the fiction to get rid of that what's the right word for it? But I for the -1 ongoing, I want you to do something in the fiction. I'm not expecting you to like make too big of a deal, but we can take care of that at the beginning of next session.
I sort of figured it's sort of him calming down along with the original -1. Like the original -1 requires him to take a few minutes and like to clear his head up. I think it would sort of be part of that, where he'd sort of just like calm down his breathing from his first encounter with this, sort of center his mind, like sort of just get in touch with the magic from the ground up. Unless you're saying you want to roll from it.
Well, no, I'm not saying I want to roll from it. I'm saying it's more than just like sitting down for a few minutes and resting. It's
okay, because you didn't
connecting with this magic that apparently this rat dragon also, had a great knowledge.
Right, but the rat dragon is literally dead.
Okay,
Yeah,
we'll take it. Yeah, Ruben, you and I, we can message between sessions. I don't want to. We're already over time.
Yeah, I don't want to drag things on either. It was just a small thing. I didn't expect it to go for like a few minutes. So yeah, end of session.
Cool. All right. Let's do. Did we defeat a notable enemy?
Yeah.
Yes.
We're gonna say you do find treasure. We found treasure. There's going to be treasure here. We just don't have time for it. We can touch base in between sessions if you guys want, or we can do it at the very beginning of next session.
Cool.
All right.
And then the other question: did we learn something new and interesting about the world?
Let's see.
I don't know if we really did. I mean, we encountered something pretty cool, but I have a feeling that our discovery is probably going to be next time.
Actually, we did learn something. We learned of an opposing force that wants to get rid of the sheriff.
Oh, that's true.
And we have yet to resolve that too, so that
Yeah.
could turn out to be something more interesting than we even know.
He is an ass.
Rukau also learned something interesting in his vision. And maybe my hand was a little soft, but Rukau, those the clay figures were hobgoblins. They weren't human.
Okay, so they're
Remember.
yeah. I'll have to seek out wisdom on how that connects to monkeyness. Yeah, I like the addition of the Nutu religion. Makes the place feel rich.
Mm.
Good. Yeah. All right. Let's do keys. We'll start with Millie.
Let's see. Key of the Noble. I don't know if I really popped anything on that tonight. Key of the Lover. Once again, didn't quite manage anything there. I don't know. I may end up seeing if Eula and I don't know if Eula would like to have a torrid affair somewhere along the way, but we might figure on that one next time around. Cool. But not this time. But I do think I hit the key of Reckless.
Certainly. Riding a dragon rat up the wall is reckless indeed.
So that's
you're muted.
Who?
Who's muted?
Ruben?
Oh.
Oh, did you ask me to say something? Sorry.
Oh, sorry. Your turn for keys.
Oh, sorry about that.
No,
yeah, so I would say I definitely bought off Key of the Enigma.
Mm-hmm.
So that would be mine too, I suppose. Did I get anything with anyone else? I mean, the only thing I could think of is the what was that? Educate position. Actually, Rukau might have bought off Key of the Ringleader when he acknowledged Dreadwind as the leader for that moment. But
I'll get that on mine.
But that's your call. But otherwise, I can't see anything else.
Okay. Are you giving one to him for helping you with the Enigma?
Oh, of course.
Okay.
Sorry, I didn't mention that.
Cool. Eula.
Key of the Hunter. When you successfully locate a creature, we haven't really been tracking the rat, but I've been tracking the Oracle, and we haven't located her yet.
If I think you could make the argument that because you did all the scouting for it and you found the rat hovels on the way in, it's your call though.
Personally, I like a broad definition of these things, because I think it lets the player play the role as opposed to trying to play the specific wording. So I would say yes in that case. I think that I probably hit the stranger part in trying to quiz the high priestess about eating her. I think I may have bought that one off as well by taking on the religion of the blind god, which is sort of not in keeping with the ancestor worship that the Amazons normally practice.
I like that.
And Key of Tenacious, again, that's a real fuzzy one.
I think you did. I think that we saw it with you doing the go through, and you were knocked out and digging your way through. That seemed fairly tenacious to me. Of all of them, I thought that was the one that you definitely had.
Yeah, I thought sure too.
Okay, cool.
So you'll get 3 experience, 2 for buying off the stranger, and 1 for either of the or others.
Okay.
All right, Rukau.
I don't think I did expansionist. I would like to buy Offering Leader, just see what happens next and see what happens if Rukau respects Dreadwind as leader.
Okay.
And I think I faced an equal in combat or more than my equal.
Yeah.
I don't know what severe injury counts as because armor kind of negated that a lot. So I don't think that one counts.
Yeah, I think some of the other players may have taken severe injuries, but not you.
So, but I did face off and at least an equal. I'll say a rat dragon's equal to Rukao now.
Even a cool dragon seemed pretty equal.
So yeah.
And then for the key of the ringleader, are you giving one to Redwin, right?
Yeah, for helping with that.
Cool. All right, I'm going to turn off the cameras. If you guys have a couple minutes to talk, we'll do some Roses and Thorns.